You look amazing, man. You look amazing.
My pleasure.
Thank you. You can grab this or walk around, whatever you need.
Merci, je suis très content d'être à Derbycon. Ça me fait très plaisir d'être là et j'espère que vous comprenez tous le français. Je vois que oui. Ah, merci. Si seulement c'était vrai. So, I'm very happy to be here. So thank you today to make me come here. I'm not so happy because it's a little bit cold. So, my feet, of course. Yeah. So for persons that does not know me or my boxer, I'm Benjamin Delpy. My nickname is kiwi. I'm security researcher by night. It's not my real work to work on Minicat. So I'm like Batman, but I'm not rich. Okay, so I coded Minicat. Maybe you know it. Maybe you know about this kind of kiwi, the fruit. They also coded Kikyo. This is the programs with the animal on it. It's also an airy kiwi like me. So I have not certification because I have a lot of lol about all of them. Okay, maybe you know I'm French. I have a very strong accent. Maybe you don't understand me. I don't understand you either. So that's not a problem for me. But if you have any question, even if it's a keynote, ask me a question at the end. I know it must not be technical. You don't ask questions, but come on. We care about that. No, I'm allowed to say that I'm working in a central bank as a security researcher, but not on Minicat, for other kind of research, of course, but also on security. So, already a question?
No, it's a request. If you could speak a little slower and more consistently into the mic, we might be able to understand you better. I'm actually having trouble hearing you when I'm in the front row.
Okay, so we'll speak here. Just for you. I will be exactly in front of you. Okay. I'm not used to this kind of microphone, but I will try. Okay? But with that, I heard my voice. It's a little bit strange. Okay. So, little reminder, even if I am nice kiwi in my nickname, I'm not very nice. Kiwi are dangerous. Okay? They're animals. Especially at Derbycon. Because they are very, very dangerous. That's savage. So, why I created Minicat? In fact, it's simple. I wanted to learn C and C++ language. It's not a joke. Every time you want to learn a new language, you have everybody around you that say to you, hey, you must create something, you must code something. That's the hardest part. Choose something to code. So I chose to code something to extract passwords and make fun about Microsoft. Okay. But it worked. So I started Minicat. It was not for password originally. It was to extract private keys. It was to bypass GPO, stuff like that. And I was really impressed by other tools in the world, like Jailbreak, not for the PlayStation. Jailbreak to extract private keys that are not exportable. I was also very impressed by MSBCTL. It was the first tool on Windows public to make pass the hash, and I wanted to know exactly how it works. So I needed to code something. So I started it in 2007. It was very old because all of the tools was not working on NT6. They were not working on 64 architecture. So I started to make some Hello World, of course, like everyone, but I make some stuff to bypass GPO, to make keylogger, to make some bad things, but each time to understand how it works. So you know Minicat because it's a funky name, but originally it was KDLL, KDLL5, CAT, and stuff like that. Why DLL inside? Because originally you had to insert DLL in dangerous process of Windows. It was dangerous because if you crash a DC, your management will not be very happy, your client not too. So how do you reverse? I'm not sure you have black hoodie like this in front of a power-off computer to make some reverse. If you are like this, I'm very impressed because it's very difficult. You are very hot inside, and I don't like to be very hot. Or maybe your management wants you to code like this with a tie. So I saw one person in the panel with a tie. Come on, it's the first time I saw one person with a tie in a security conference in US, but why not? But because of the hat, it's okay. But I don't code like that. In fact, I code like that. I reverse like that. So there is a coffee on this picture, there is Coke, there is posters, there is a lot of screens, there is socks, of course. But come on, I'm pretty sure you code like this. Maybe not with the sexy kiwi shirt I have, but you must have one. I'm pretty sure you go to the shower and you go outside of your shower with towel and you start to code. You know other searchers that have crazy idea under the shower. Ask Sophos about it. Oops, sorry, it's a partner. But me, I'm French. I like good food. When I want to code, I make some fun even to Microsoft. I announced on Twitter, hey, come on, I have started to extract pin key of smart cards in memory of Windows, but come on, I will not start to code before my worklet. Worklet is very important. It's cheese, very good cheese from Switzerland or Jura, as you want, but it's very important. If you search on Twitter from Jaunty Kiwi with Worklet, I think you will have several results. It's very important for me to code. And I think you have Cheetos and stuff like that in US, or bacon. Okay. Your food is very strange for me, so I don't know the equivalent. Okay? I can't eat here. Okay. So, what happened with all of these crazy ideas, these boxers and raclette? In 2011, I found something. You know what is it, but I found something, and like a nice guy, I make some responsible disclosure to one big company here. Maybe you want to know to guess which company it is, but I think you know. So I said to them, hey, it's crazy. I found something very dangerous in your operating system, and I think you are not happy. I'm not happy. Your customer is not happy, and it's very dangerous. Big company it was in French, so sorry, I must translate it for you, because we have a lot of je ne sais quoi when we speak, so it's not the same way. But the big company say to me, hey, you must be administrator or have a lot of privilege to do that. So we don't care exactly about it. But I answer to this big company that a lot of attacks are already with privilege accounts, are already with systems. Maybe you remember the gate systems from another time. So at least you must make your customer be aware that it is very dangerous and there can be problems. One fix, by design. It was several years ago. And because it was a big company that maybe you know, thank you for your precious reports, your valued customer, don't hesitate to present your reports. Yeah. Security will go up with that. Yeah. And you can also have a survey. Yes. That was several years ago. It's not really exactly the same at this time, but it looks like it. It was my first fail. At last I tried, but it was my fail. But come on, let's try a group case. So, this is the A team in Lego, okay? I know it can be okay, it doesn't look like the A team, but I like Lego, okay? So, I was in France with other big companies on the market and say, hey, come on, let's try to open the same case to Microsoft. Oh, this is far. So Microsoft at the same time to try to make things evolve. Yes. It was a French group case, so it was another fail. Not because we are French, come on, because we are so little. We don't fail often. Okay? So, what was that? It was password in memory. Maybe you know about it, because Minicat is well known about password in memory. So, it's a little bit nothing, not very important, because one fix by design. Of course, yes. So, it looked like crazy at this time. Well, in 2018, so it looked like very dangerous, but in 2011, it was not. It was architecture problems, not dangerous. Nobody don't care about it. But I can promise, if you show passwords to executive, to management, they will understand. It's not an NTLM hash. It's not a blob. It's not BAT64 data. It's their password. There is a boat name. There is their dog name inside. They will very quickly understand. And because it doesn't involve a lot of GPU to crack it, they will understand very easily. So do not hesitate to make some demonstration with clear text passwords. Each time it works at every level of the management. So for me, it was wonderful days because, as you remember, it was old, but I discovered a lot of ways to have passwords from WDGS package, terminal server, even from Kerberos, because previously in the Kerberos package there was the password in memory even after you log on. Come on, you don't need this password in memory, but it was here as a gift for me. It was cool. And to be pleasant with Metasploit on other products, I made other modification in Minicat to avoid DLL injections because it was dangerous. And because metapretators don't want to inject DLL in LSISS and stuff like that. So I make versions that only works from reading memory of LSISS. So guess what? It allows you to make Mimikatz from memory dump. It's exactly beyond. Bring your own dump. You can extract data without any tools on the targeted computer, only with embedded Windows tools. That's crazy. It works as hell. And I also make a plugin for WinDBG because for kernel hacker, it's cool. So, just after that, what I did, I go to Moscow. Not in section underwear, but I go to Moscow. It was my first conference. I was younger and very shy. And I tried to explain to Moscow people, but they were very aware about password in memory, in fact, that it can be very dangerous, and you can use Minicat to get password from the memory. But I also made a lot of fun about Microsoft. Say, come on, Microsoft, I'm in conference 1 year after the disclosure, and you make nothing. They only make a signature in FEP at these times to avoid Mimicat to be running on endpoints. But at these times, I don't know any customers with Microsoft antivirus, so it doesn't change nothing. It was very dangerous for me because maybe you know this article. The same years at the same hotel, at the same conference, I have some strange visit in my hotel room. So I will not tell you the entire history, but it involves some Men in Black look like spy in my room in front of my computer when it was very strange. I was afraid, but after that, and even after the conference, there is some strange guys that go very quickly in front of me asking my binaries, my presentation, and all I have about Minicat. No. I was knowing if I want to leave the country, I have to give them. But it was not a problem because I was planning to give the source code of Minicat public just after the conference. That's the tradition, in fact. But the Russian guys they don't know that, so they didn't know that. So just after this conference, during previous year, there is some funky example. The first public one I think was DigiNota because the PKI there is some Minicat embedded in the attack. The Bundestag or other NotPetya, the Olympic Games, even some casino in Vegas. I think it was in Vegas, yes, with Minicat. And you can see a lot of reports with Minicat inside, embedded in a lot of attacks. But I'm pretty sure you know more than me real attacks with Minicat because, usually companies, they don't want it to be public. So raise your hand if you know a Minicat attack. Real one. That's a lot. Keep your hand if it was in your own company. Ah! I saw one. Courageous. You also maybe see some usage on Mr. Robots. So my phone was crazy just after this series. But come on. This is false. There is some error on the Mimikatz usage. They even make some NTLM hash with the O letter inside. So come on. It's better for FIB industry, but it's not perfect. But come on, let's go back. So after that, Microsoft, yes, the name is here now. Microsoft has to make some change. So they introduced restricted admin for remote desktop communication. They introduced LSI protections that I bypass with a kernel driver. They introduced protected user security group, which is great, but I can dump Kerberos tickets even with that, and it works as hell. So it's good, but continuous effort. They even make some white paper, not only for me, but because a lot of persons are working on password and stuff like that, and they have to make something, some statements. Because, yes, it's by design, won't fix, but let's make a white paper. Just in case. They even make some KB. This is a Mimicat KB inside. This is the nickname of the second KB. This KB remove a lot of credentials from the memory. Password, this is a kind of garbage collector for Windows. It's cool. But in real life, you can find a lot of passwords even with this KB. And by default, on older Windows systems, this KB doesn't work because you need to enable a registry key that nobody does. Nobody does. Okay. And even after that, Microsoft makes another white paper because nobody reads the first one. But it was the first time that I am aware that Microsoft backports a security fix in previous Windows versions, because all of that was introduced with Windows 8. that nobody used, of course. So they have to make a backport to Windows 7. It's cool. It's the first time they do that. So, but after password, I made about Kerberos. I will just give you an example about Kerberos. So I will not speak about golden tickets. I think you already seen a lot of conference about golden tickets, maybe some stickers too. Maybe you have some golden tickets in your network. I know some networks in US with golden tickets inside. Sorry. And some of them was was before me, so I know I'm not responsible for that. So with Kerberos, to make some cryptography with your password, to just make a symmetric key from your password. By default, it's the RC4 key, which is exactly the same as your NTLM hash. Welcome, overpass the hash. And just with that, you encrypt the timestamps, the DC decrypt the timestamp, and check the times on your DC, and give you back a TGT with a session key encrypted with your NTLM hash. That's very easy. Come on, it's more easy to understand Kerberos with this slide than in the RFC, so read it. But with smart card, it's more complicated. You have asymmetric key, so you're seeing a timestamp, and the DC will answer you with the session key encrypted with your public key. It's not magical, it's crypto. It's difficult, but it's crypto, okay? But there is also another mode, which involves a wizard, for Diffie-Hellman, because Diffie-Hellman on slide is very difficult. So the wizard is Diffie-Hellman. When you make Diffie-Hellman, you only have to sync the timestamp with your private key, but you have to make some magic stuff with crypto, to decrypt the session key. So it's very dangerous by design, because when you make Kerberos like that, you don't need the private key from the original smart card to decrypt the session key. So come on, you can pre-sync Jailbreak for future usage. You can make signature of timestamp for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. We don't care. And you can use this pre-synced timestamp even without the real smart card. It's very dangerous. So it looks like dangerous, but it's very dangerous because by default, Windows keeps your PIN code in LSS memory too. And in some Windows version, it's even not encrypted. So your 1, 2, 3, 4 password is in clear text. So it's not Windows specific. It's on the RFC. If you deal with Kerberos, with PKInit, or with smart card, you must implement Diffie-Hellman. You must be vulnerable with that. Come on. It's sexy. So thank you to Swift and Security that make me aware about strange new settings in Windows 10. There is a new setting to avoid this kind of behavior, to introduce PKInit freshness. It forces a new exchange on the network to prove the DC that you are in possession. You have on your own, you have on your pocket, on your smart card reader, who cares, the real smart card. And in fact, this new setting and this new RFC about it is from Microsoft. So they try to make some things about architecture. In fact, as I'm aware, I think Microsoft is the first participant on the RFC groups about Kerberos at this time, because nobody wants to deal with Kerberos. Just Microsoft because of Windows 2000. That's the only goal. Just after this kind of stuff, Microsoft introduced Credential Guard. It's great, use it. It involves virtualization on your workstations. On one side, you have your normal Windows. It's in it is in a 99% prioritization VM, and in other side you have 1% VM dedicated to handle your password or credential. So if you are able to access your credential on the other side, you bypass Hyper-V, and you will have a lot of money from Microsoft, because I think it's about $200,000 and 50. Come on, I think it's $250,000 at this time if you have a good one. So it can be very good. And each time there is problems with that, they can fix it, because this time the architecture is better. So without bullshit, Credential Guard work like this. There is your NTLM hash, which is sent to the other VM, the secure world. It will be encrypted on the secure world with a key only known by the secure world, until it will give you back a blob. Yes, I know some people here love the blob, so you have sticker about the blob. Usually it was in Israel. A lot of people are loving this kind of blob. I don't know why. And after that, the blob is sending back to the normal world. It's not. And when you need to answer a challenge on the networks, you will have an NTLM challenge, your blob, and you will send all of that to the secure world. The blob will be decrypted. They will have the normal key, and it will give you back the NTLM response to answer on the networks. So, it's cool, but maybe you see that there is some problem here. The NTLM hash is at one moment in the normal world. So maybe you see my tweet at the beginning of the month with that. Microsoft was not very happy of this tweet. But come on, it's not a new technique. I do that for 4 years, so it's not new. So there is also other dangerous stuff in Minicat. There is the golden ticket, maybe you know about it. Come on, you have access forever on your network. It's cool. You can have silver tickets. It's nearly undetectable on the networks. It doesn't involve the domain controller. So even if it's less powerful, use silver tickets. It's easy, and you will know how Kerberos is working just with that. I also love DP-API backup key. Come on, it's more dangerous than golden tickets, because even if it's not very recommended by Microsoft, you can change the Kirby TGT key as your own risk. It's not really supported, but you can try, and please do it. But the DP-API backup key, you cannot change it, or you will block all your smart card authentication with saved passwords. You will have problems with your private key on your networks. It's by design. It's architecture from 2000, again. There is also skeleton key in Minicat. It's cool. You can log on with your password. I can log on to your account with my password too. It's cool. It was in an attack, I think, against Kaspersky. There is also DC Sync and DC Shadow, thanks to Vincent in the front row. Hey, Vincent. Which is a very cool meme about the domain controller guys. I know Dave love it, so I have sticker for him, and maybe for you too. But I talk about DP-API. DP-API is very dangerous. In fact, it's very easy for developer. You have an API, a simple one. I want to protect data. You push the data in the API, you have a blob in return, and when you want to decrypt the blob, you push the blob in another API, and you will have your secret back. It's very easy. And in fact, it's very secure. It involves a lot of cryptography, a lot of keys. So it involves your password, it involves the master key, it involves another desk key. What you want, a lot of key inside. So it was very difficult. But it's only crypto at the end. So Minicat can export and deal with DP-API, but there is more easy way to deal with DP-API, especially with certificate and private key. So, in fact, I know you love me. Of course, we are all over friends. But I know some of you don't want to push Mimikatz on the target. I know why. So, guess what? This is an example. Yes, I know it's hard at 9 in the morning for keynotes, but this is an example. This is an example of a private key for a certificate. At the left, it is a private key not exportable. Come on, it's easy to get it's not exportable just with the example. No, it's not. It's encrypted. But at the end of the private key file, there is a blob just to say if the key is exportable or not. And it's only a blob. So I can make my own crypto, of course. But come on, you only have an hexadecimal editor. It will work. At the right, it's another certificate that you have imported by example. You have imported your own certificate and make it exportable because it's not an important one. So at the end of the exam, you have a blob that are saying that your private key is exportable. Guess what? Just copy paste the blob at the end of the private key. Your private key will be exportable. That's all. And this file is in the user context, so you have all the right to do that. Even on the CNG. So it's not as easy on the CNG, but I can guarantee you can make that with an hexadecimal editor. It's by design. And your management will love that because it doesn't involve any tools. So, what Microsoft has do with that? They make the CNG. Come on, it's cool. The private key are not anymore in the user process using it. Because yes, previously with DP API, in fact, even at this moment, DP API handle your private key in your own process. So you can do what you want with that. You can make your own patch, you can make your own export, you can rewrite it. It's very easy. So CNG is cool because all of the operations are in LSISS. So you must have administrator access or kernel access to handle with that. It is very fun because not a lot of products are supporting CNG. Even not all Microsoft products have problems with that. There is also DP API NG to deal with new algorithms. Not all time. But in fact, it's not about new security. It's about new security when you want to share secrets between users. Not big deal. Not really, there is not a lot of people are using DP API NG. But the big deal is the TPM. When it's correctly patched, of course. There is no firmware issue. Because previously, the TPM was only for BitLocker in Windows. But now, you can use it with virtual smart card or platform provider, so you can have your own private key nearly in the TPM. It's nearly as if you have a smart card in your computer. So in this fact, it's more complicated to export private key, I can guarantee you. So, I think I've helped Microsoft to make a lot of change in Windows, but I was not alone, in fact. So there is a lot of crazy picture. My underpants, my French ego is not enough to make Microsoft make some change. So I was not alone. The first three guys, including me, at the left, it was Flip the Call and Chris Campbell, and this picture was inside Microsoft. Yeah. It was 4 years ago, I remember this time, at Blue Hat, and this is what I think it was one of the first times Microsoft accepted individuals to make conference in their private US conference. I think we had more than 1 hour to make conference/fun in front of Microsoft. They didn't like it a lot. Not everyone, in fact. But there is also some other persons that helped push Microsoft to make some change, like Vincent with Pincastle, Derbycon Microsoft. I don't remember all the names, especially in the SpectreOps teams. So come on, thank you SpectreOps to make one teams, because a lot of great people I know in security are working now for SpectreOps, so it's easy for me to put one logo that will have a lot of features. But also Microsoft, because I have insider inside Microsoft. A lot of people inside Microsoft, they want stuff to change, but they are not crazy. Problems must have visibility to change. So yes, I know I have forbid some people in this slide to make some change with Windows. So contact me in private with $10. I will make private deck just for you and my management. You will love it. And I beg your pardon if I forgot you. Really. I have a goldfish memory for names. Just before the conclusion, a little word from a security guru. Just before the conference, it was great for me to have this quote. It's Alex Ionescu, maybe you know him, big guru about internal of Windows. If you disagree with vendor strategy about security and disclosure, publish tool, make something, make it public. I guarantee you it will change some stuff. And the final conclusion, no. So, first, always communicate with vendor or company. Responsible disclosure. It can avoid you some problems with authority or with advocates and stuff like that. I had some advocate letters at one time. Yeah. But if you have some proof that you have made some disclosure and they don't care about it, come on. You win. And sometimes you will have some bounty and some change from the company. It's not always like in 2011, so make it. Secondly, POC. Make some tools. Don't use Minicat. Make your own. When you have an idea, when you are disagree with a vendor, it depends on the vendor, but create your own tool to demonstrate why it's wrong. In theory, all is bad, all is good. We don't care about it. It's for management, this kind of stuff. But when you have a tool, they don't have choice. It exists. They must do something about it. And I'm sorry to say that, but visibility changes everything. If you only make your own private tool in the company and you just show it to your chief, it will not be enough. Come on. We are in 2018. there is Twitter, there is a lot of stuff. Publish your tools after the responsible disclosure, of course, on the delay. But publish your tools, make it visible. So, you remember maybe the visibility at Black Hat 1 year ago? So sometimes visibility is bad for several companies. You can find some picture with Nerf gun on Twitter, but because it's a sponsor, I will not say the name. Okay. If you have something to remember, this is this sentence. If you are a vendor, a big company, if you have a bug bounty inside, if you have some rules to make security, if not, it is not because you say it's not vulnerability, it's not in the scope, that hacker will not exploit it, especially me. So maybe there is a lot of persons in the room that know about the security boundaries of Microsoft. There is a lot of t-shirts about it. But hackers don't care about it. It is not in the security boundaries, it is not in the bug bounty. Okay, but if it works, if I can exploit a company with that, it is in the scope. So protect it, make change with it, listen people around it. And of course, my last sentence is for Microsoft. Because this Keynote may let you think that I'm against Microsoft. No, that's not the real case. I have a lot of friends inside Microsoft, and they try to change. In fact, they listen better to researchers about security. And in fact, if you will follow Microsoft for the previous 4 years, 5 years, a lot of things have changed in the security of Windows operating system and in the security in general, even on the environment in Microsoft. So, be good with that. Yes. Oh, I was very fast. I'm so sorry about that. Because I speak very, very fast. So, I know it's a keynote and you're not supposed to ask questions, but if you have, I can try to answer it. No question, even on my underwear.